G'day everyone and welcome back to another Aussie Investing Machine live stream. Thank you so much for joining me once again this Wednesday night. Really appreciate everyone who jumps on the live streams. They're a lot of fun, so thanks for that. It's been a big week in investing. The ASX has had some huge gains over the past couple of days, so I've got a lineup of a few stocks that I'd like to go over in this live stream. So as per usual, I've got the presentation ready to go with a few of those key stocks that I wanted to talk about. As always, I'm happy to take your questions and comments as they come in, so please start asking as soon as you feel like it. Without further ado, I think we might jump into the presentation. Yep, as I said, feel free to ask any questions and comments you might have along the way. I hope you've all had a great week so far. A couple more days to go until the weekend, and yeah, we'll get straight into it. G'day Pat, how you doing? Hope you're well. Hi mate, buy any Gamestop or silver? I got my trading account activated on Monday, so I was ready to go. I just waited and watched, and as we've seen, the Gamestop price has come down. I'll pull that up just now. Give me a minute. Just pull over to this in a minute. Here we go. So yeah, GameStop stock. Have a look at this, back down to $90. On the website Market Watch, it's still saying that it's 120% shorted. Now, I'm not sure if that's outdated information. If it's still 120% shorted, then I think there's probably still some opportunity. But a lot of people have obviously been selling off and taking profits. I didn't make a position, so didn't enter. Still could, but I'm just watching and waiting to see what happens. If it starts jumping back up again, then maybe I'll go in. In terms of commodities, you mentioned silver, and I've seen a lot of buzz about people jumping into silver. Again, it spiked and it's come back down, I think, to more reasonable levels. Silver's a good one. I mean, unlike gold, it's used a lot in electronics manufacturing. So we've seen this, as you can see if I can make this a bit longer. Maybe not, but it sort of continually increases in value regardless of market movement. So it could be a good one to get into. It looks a bit high at the moment though. How about you? Have you jumped into either GameStop or silver? Let me know. But yeah, interesting things happening, that's for sure. So let's jump straight into the presentation. As I was saying earlier, if you've got any questions about stocks you wanted to have a chat about, start asking those questions now and I will get to all of them. So here's some of the big jumps in stocks today on the ASX, and here are some of the most popular ones that were viewed on my broker Selfwealth. So we can see Virgin Money UK. It's actually who I've got my superannuation with because of their really low rates, even lower than Host Plus. So good super fund for me. Just really nice low fees essentially. They've had a huge jump, nowhere near their top 52-week range, but not sure what's been driving this, but might be one to look into. If you'd like to see a video on that, let me know. Corporate Travel Limited, a stock that got heavily short sold during the pandemic. They got absolutely smashed, and that short selling pressure has pretty much lifted now, and the company, I think they're claiming that they're filling most of the airplanes in the sky at the moment. I had an article up. Yeah, Financial Review's got a great article. You should go and check this out if you're interested. Essentially, the CEO is talking about how they were being absolutely bashed during the worst of 2020 and how they've really recovered. So they've done very well, and they're having a bit of a recovery now. I've seen a lot of advertising from Webjet, Flight Centre, and all of those companies that they mention here. And it seems that domestic travel is really recovering. Australia's continued to handle the pandemic very, very well. So no surprise that these companies are rebounding. I think a lot of their big money is in international travel, so perhaps their revenue may not be what it once was, but certainly booking domestically they're a good platform to use. And I think I booked through Flight Centre a couple of days ago some domestic flights to Queensland, so I found it good. You can book multiple airlines on the same trip, so they're useful, and I think we can expect to see them continue to recover. And then Carsales we'll get to a little bit later. They've had a rebound off the back of a broker who's upgraded their consensus on that stock. G'day guys, thanks for joining. Eli, how are you, mate? How's it going? Nico, I went shopping at 277 Collins Street. What is it, 277? What do you know that I don't? Let's have a look. 277 Collins. Gold buys. Bought some physical gold. Very cool. What's old mate's name? Kiyosaki. Rich Dad Poor Dad. Loves his physical silver and gold. Robert Kiyosaki, that's him. Yeah. Do you watch any videos by him? I know he has quite a big following and some reasonable advice. Some people say that he's sort of a bit of a crook, selling seminars and that sort of thing. But he is a very wealthy man, done very well in property, and he loves buying physical silver and gold. And I think now he's into Bitcoin. So if you got any opinions on Robert Kiyosaki, I'd love to hear them. But yeah, what did you buy, Nico? Let me know. Love to hear. Eli, my opinion on Lake. Well, I've actually got some slides dedicated to Lake in just a minute, so stick around. We'll go into them in some depth. Overall, I do like them, so we'll get to that. Pat, staying out for now, thinking of what could be possibly the next Reddit flavor of the month. Yeah, I think we all are. Do you subscribe to that Wall Street Bets page on Reddit? Are you keeping up with them? It's a good way to get in front of the market, maybe, if you're into outdoing Wall Street, for sure. Maybe I should be tracking that. I'm not currently, but there you go. G'day, Jake. How are you? Thanks for dropping a comment. Hi, mate. Love your stuff. Thank you very much. Could you look into Lake? It looks to have a massive future. Yep. So as I just said, I have got a couple of slides on Lake in this live stream. If you'd like to hear more, and if you want, maybe I could do a deep dive on Lake on Thursday or Friday night. Really dive in and give you my full breakdown. If you'd like to see that, again, just drop another comment, let me know. Greco, sorry, I will get onto that soon. So I'll stop there and we'll jump into a little bit more on the ASX. So let's just have a look here. So pardon me. So here the ASX 200 jumped a bit today, sort of around where it was at the start of the pandemic. So it's sort of recovered finally. The S&P 500 has managed this a couple of months ago. They're a bit ahead of us, but finally the ASX has caught up. And it's at this point where things have recovered. We might see some people exiting the market, especially people who were thinking about retiring in March or April. They obviously couldn't at that point in time. As their portfolios recover, we might see them start to exit, which could drive the price down on a couple of stocks, which could prove some really good entry points. So that's something to watch. Buy now, pay later companies like Afterpay and Zip got smashed because Britain announced its plans to introduce tougher regulation on the industry. And this is, I guess, troubling, and it's a troubling precedent that they've set, because at the moment they're pretty much unregulated, especially in this country. Afterpay and Zip, if they get treated more like credit facilities, could be a big problem for these companies. What do you think about that? Leave me a comment. Are you invested in Afterpay or Zip? I'm personally not. Maybe I should have been. Would have enjoyed some big gains, but I think my long-term prospectus on those companies is a bit troubled because of news like that. So let me know what you think about that. The RBA has come out swinging, and a lot of people are jumping into property at the moment. Big gains in property. I'm hearing a lot of chat, just anecdotal evidence, people going to auctions and just blowing reserves at the moment. Confidence is coming back. now that we're pretty much normalized in this country, the rest of the world perhaps not. The RBA has some interesting things to say about property though. They're talking about population growth, which in this country is undoubtedly the biggest driver for growth. People coming in, buying in the outer suburbs causes people to sell and move out of those outer suburbs and move in, and there's this chain reaction. If you look into how property market cycles work, it starts at the outskirts and works its way in. Got a couple of good books on property. I leave them links to those in the description on most of my videos, so if you'd like to go and read them, those links are there. But maybe if you'd like a property focused video, let me know, I could do that. But certainly this population growth, or the lack of, is a heavy headwind on property prices. I know we're not seeing that at the moment, but as far as I'm aware, borders are still closed and they will be for some time. So if we go a couple of years without that international immigration, it's really difficult to see prices continue to drive up. He's also mentioned that new house building is high. So that's this demand versus supply. We know demand for a fact will begin to drop off because there's simply not the same amount of people coming in. And if new house building is boosting, which the government's trying to do, there's a lot of incentives. First home buyers, home builders, renovators, lots of government money being thrown at that, and that might create a surplus. And as we all know, in surplus conditions, without demand there, we should see, in market theory, you're meant to see a drop in prices. So yeah, be interesting to hear your opinion on that. Have you got any property investments? Maybe you're considering one or just about to make a purchase. I'd like to know your outlook on that as well. We've still got falling rents for apartments in Sydney and Melbourne, so there are a lot of dynamics going on at the moment. At the moment, I don't see anything that's unsustainable. But we also know when rents fall, or it's usually the other way around, rents fall because house prices fall. When renting is cheap, there's no incentive for people to buy. That's the main market theory. So if rents stay cheap, there's less people who feel like they need to get out and buy. When rents rise, people turn around and go, hang on a minute, I could be paying off a mortgage with the amount of rent that I'm paying, and that's the point where they try and jump into property. So everything's sort of a lot of negative pressure on property, yet we're seeing prices jump. Good to hear your opinion on that. Yeah, I'll get to your comments soon. I've got a couple here. I will come back to everyone's. Pat, given the rise in property in New Zealand, due to being COVID-free, Australia will have another boom, especially since there are still residents. Yeah, that's a good point. There are residents coming back, but it's only a couple of hundred a week, and I think net migration's a lot more than that. Eli, with the RBA maintaining 0.1, more people will be buying. Yeah, it's more affordable to buy. So there are other factors, but I think that the net immigration is such a big factor that really that's the driver. They can drop rates as much as they want, I think. Well, they have. It can't go any lower. Be interesting to see how it plays out. For me personally, I'd love to buy an investment property. I'm not quite in a position to do that yet. But even if I was at the moment, I'll be watching and waiting. It's a bit hot at the moment. Just jump into the first stock I wanted to talk about this week, and then I will come back to everybody's comments. So don't worry about that. I will get to you all. Let's go through. So A2 Milk, been quiet. I haven't heard many other YouTubers talking about A2 Milk, but I've been keeping an eye on it, and it's been, since it hit $10, it's pretty much stayed there. You can see here, about back there it hit 10, it jumped, and it's sort of just bubbling along. We're expecting some results on the 25th of Feb, and I don't think these will be anything impressive. The Daegu channel of selling, which is a big source of revenue, is still in the bin. But they've gotten rid of their old CEO, and they're bringing in this new guy, David Bortolussi. And he's got ideas, and the chairman talks about how impressed he was, and that for every idea the chairman had about how to redirect the company, David had 10. So that's positive. He's just come in. I don't think these numbers in February will be any good, but you really got to think this company from back here in 2016, we've seen 30% growth year on year on year on year. And that's no mean feat. That's extremely good growth. I mean, 30 is huge, 15% is good, 30 is incredible. And they've got that recipe for success. They've got a popular product. I think the big concern for me was that they'd get hit by a tariff, but it is important to consider they are a company from New Zealand. They did have an Australian CEO. He's gone. I'm not sure what nationality David is, but he's not Australian. And that might help with Chinese relations. And one of the big draw cards is that he does have a good way of dealing with Chinese customers. So we'll see what comes for A2 Milk, but I'm a little bit bullish on A2 Milk. I think there's definitely some upside for them. What do you think? Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe it will continue to fall, but certainly if you wind back the clock a year and a half, people were crazy about A2 Milk, and the price just kept going up and up. Let me know what you think, but it's one I'm watching in the background. I think it's definitely undervalued if they can resume their previous rates of growth, which in good economic conditions, there's no reason to say they shouldn't. So an interesting one. Lake Resources. All right. Let's talk Lake. Lots of people asking about it. So Lake, to give a bit of, I guess, context, we've seen some massive gains in other companies like Vulcan. And Vulcan has similar principles to Lake in the sense that Vulcan is going for this zero emissions production. They're looking at being an energy producer. They've got thermal mass where they're planning on producing in Northern Europe, in Germany, I think. And this allows them to mine without any emissions or in a clean and green way. Lake also has a green focus. Their lithium extraction method is from salt water, or brine as it's called, and it's a non-mining process, as they call it. They hit a high point in January. Their stock price over the years has been at higher points, but I think now we're really getting to that tipping point for lithium. I think previously it was all speculation, sort of 5 years ago. There wasn't that market demand, but now it's starting to ramp up. So I think we need to take these lithium players more seriously, Pilbara, Lake, etc. They focus on clean extraction, and this is a smaller carbon dioxide, water and energy footprint than conventional lithium miners like Pilbara. So there's been no news out of the company. The drop in the share prices is probably just investors taking profit after their big jump. So that's that. This is a little slide from their investor presentation talking about this clean technology and their extraction methods. Their mine, they've got this Cachi project, is in South America. It's on the border of Bolivia and Chile and maybe one other country. That mine has a 25-year life, which is huge. It's plenty of time for them to go and find more resources. So no issues there. No more financial results from them until April. So up until that point, we should see the stock price stabilize. But they do mention in some of their presentations, Novonix is currently working with them, Jeff Dunn in the lab, which means they're close to Tesla, very close to Tesla. They've got high quality lithium. If that relationship progresses, it could mean big things for them. So that's Lake. I'll just jump to some questions now. See where we left off. Lindo, how are you, mate? Thanks for joining us. BRG, let's pull them up. BRG, Breville, yeah, okay, cool. Great comment. I like Breville. We can see their share price has just been huge. Don't we all wish we got them here at $12? What a return that would have been. Yeah, so Breville makes some pretty good little home devices, coffee machines, maybe toasters, blenders, that sort of thing. Some great growth from what I can remember when I looked at them. Well, let's dive in now. See what I can find. Just pull up their financials. So what have we got? Just bear with me for a moment. Yeah, I think from memory, their financials are not as impressive as their share momentum, but I could be completely wrong. So we'll dive straight into that. Pull them up. Breville Group. All right. Here is Breville. So financials, if we jump in, we can see revenue, no issues there whatsoever. When we look at their net income after tax, it's not showing us the growth that we'd like to see. We're sort of looking at 50 to 60, which is good, 60 to 67, which is okay, and then a bit of a slump. And this could be 2020 related, not sure. So let's look a bit further. EPS growth. What is that growth? Let's have a look. Oh, just open up my calculator. 0.52 divided by 0.56. Yeah, so it's like 8% growth. So it's not as strong as we'd like to see, and it's not really corresponding to that share price movement. We're kind of wanting to see that 10, 15, 20% in a real strong growth company. We have a look at their balance sheet. Total debt has been increasing but relatively stable. I'm not sure if this blank means that the debt is gone. I doubt it. They've certainly got liabilities there still. So that's long-term debt. My mistake. Yeah, so total debt has reduced, which is good. Total equity is increasing strongly. So overall financial footprint's looking okay. I'd probably want to do an analysis on them. I guess if you'd like to see an in-depth video on Breville, let me know. But yeah, their price movement's been excellent, and I think they've got a lot of sales in the US, which is obviously a massive positive to be internationally focused. Excuse me. So yeah, good company. Probably you don't hear about it as much as others, but really strong price movement, strong growth. So if you'd like to see something more detailed on Breville, yeah, please let me know. I'll jump into them. Famous investor Chamath, yes, I know Chamath, posted on Twitter on mining materials needed for EV boom, copper, nickel, rare earths, cobalt, and lithium. Do you know any miners that mine nickel sustainably? Yeah, I think so. Who were we looking at the other day? Nickel miners. Let me just jump into this quickly. If I see a list, I will be able to tell you. I think it might be Focus. Bear with me. Not them. BHP, yes and no. South 32. Yeah, Focus. May not be mining at the moment. Have to come back to you on that one. Not sure, yeah, which ones have a sustainable practice. The way I'd work that out would be to jump into each investor presentation, just very quickly, of each of those miners, and just quickly flip through. We saw with Lake Resources when I jumped into their, see if I've still got it open. Yeah, you jump into Lake's presentation and you go bang, efficient, clean, okay. And the next one is third slide, clean technology, no mining. So if they are a clean nickel miner, they'll say it very quickly. Now, mining being the process that it is intensive. So that alone will mean that it is an emissions producer. And the only way to counteract that is to do something like Vulcan's doing and have an energy source on site. So if they've got a solar offset plant or something like that, then potentially, but off the top of my head, no. I'd need to do some research. Have you found anything? Let me know. Kinkari Musk thinks big of Bitcoin too. Yep, I think, yeah, as I said, Robert Kiyosaki does as well. It's a finite resource. Seen huge gains. I think it's still at $40,000. So, gee, it would have been good to get into Bitcoin. I made a video on Bitcoin, a few months ago, and I think it was at 20,000 at that point, and I was considering jumping in, and I probably should have. Every time I think about it, I look back a couple of weeks later and it's doubled in price. So if you could look into maybe a Chamath video on his SPACs, yep, that's on my list, 100%. Just planning that one out at the moment. But yeah, that's it. Virgin Galactic, I think, is space. Open, yep. Yeah, he's done some big ones, some companies that are really rapidly growing. So I think, 100%. That's a great video idea. Thanks, Kinkurian. BC, good evening. How are you? Still vibing PointsBet? Yeah, so PointsBet, I think we are expecting. Let's have a look. PointsBet Holdings. When is their next lot of results? So yes, I am definitely vibing them. We've seen, as I've said in some of my past streams, have I missed this? Bear with me. Upcoming calendar, 24th, so not too far, end of the month. Yep, I've got very good feelings about this February report, and those feelings are because their competitors have had massive gains in the same amount of time. That's their US competitors, one of which I think Kinkurian was actually a SPAC. Let me just find who that is. SPAC sports betting. I think it's called, not Rush Street. Yeah. I wonder if it was Chamath. Sport Radar? Maybe. One of these competitors to PointsBet in the US has had just an absolute blinder. They had their results come out, and it's been a 100% increase across the board in all of their financials. And PointsBet's a direct competitor, and they've got a big NBC deal. We know this. So yeah, I've got good feelings about PointsBet, but they just jumped recently and their price jumped. I wonder if it's settled. Yeah, so it's just pushing. It would have been a great buy at 12. Lost 5% today. Yeah, I'd consider jumping in. It's huge 1 year return. So yeah, you keep reminding me of that. Hopefully I do, but maybe make a position before that point in time. As always, guys, there's no stock recommendations on this channel. Please do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor, so take everything with a grain of salt, please. Rusty Car, Tabcorp announcement. Do you think more upside? Let's have a look. How have they been going? Yeah, they've been recovering. We talked about them in a video I did on them selling off or spinning off their sort of betting side to focus more on their lotto. So this was today. Been approached in relation to, a transaction involving their wagering business. So confirms a number of unsolicited approaches. So people are interested in buying it, and we think Tabcorp might be interested. So there you go, they're assessing it. We know their lotto side of the business is far more profitable. So they could really streamline the company and get rid of their wagering business, maybe for a good price. Just based on that, we could see a big bump in their equity, depending on the price paid. So could be an opportunity there. What do you think? Have you jumped in? Rusty Car, let me know. Response to 98. Sorry, mate, I'm not sure what you mean there. Let me know. Pat, given the rise of property, we went over that one. Thanks for the comment. Nico, got a good deal last week. This is your silver and gold buying escapades. So 1 kilo of silver. Wow. Now level 6. Excellent stuff. What do you plan on doing with it? Do you keep it in your room and look at it all the time, or what do you think? Is it a long hold for the future? Yeah, keen to know your thoughts. Really cool. I haven't heard of anyone actually going and buying physical stuff. Well, I've obviously heard of people in the world do that, but no one I kind of know. So yeah, good one, Nico. BC, do you invest in physical property or any asset outside stocks? I've got an apartment, which is this, but it's not an investment. I'd like to invest in property. I mentioned that earlier, but not in a position to just yet. Hopefully, if YouTube's kind to me, that might happen a bit quicker. We'll see how we go. But yeah, an investment property would be good. Give you guys a quick tip if you're interested. This is a really cool website if you're interested in property investing. It's called SQM Research, and this blew my mind. Check this out. So free property data. So we can have a look at, just go to their sold records if it loads. No, not the one I wanted. Bear with me. Rental yields. Here we go. So plug in a postcode. So if we say Melbourne 3000, and we know Melbourne during the pandemic, I'll just blow this up. We know Melbourne during the pandemic, inner city Melbourne, CBD, postcode 3000, a lot of international migrants living in the city. And so if we have a look at vacancy rates, get this beautiful graph which shows us the percentage of properties that were vacant. And we can see this huge spike beginning in January, February. It's already on its way up, but look at this acceleration. Essentially 10% of properties in Melbourne CBD were dead empty. If you go to a growth suburb in Melbourne, like Pakenham, you can see vacancy rates are at all-time lows. So it really gives you some great information. You're looking at stock on the market, shows you how many properties are listed, and then these colors tell you how long it took the property to be sold. So over 180 days, obviously really bad. Nobody wants their house on the market that long. Pakenham, almost nothing on the market for that long. If you look at an expensive suburb in Melbourne, like Toorak, for example, you can see that over 180 days bracket is consistent, but it's a lot more than Pakenham. If you want to sell a house, that's how to do it quickly. You also get a rental yield, which is really nice. You can sort of turn it to houses. Get a 2% yield inner city Melbourne, which is typical. But if you go to rural, for example, we can see Ballarat yields far outstrips those in Toorak. We're up at something like 4%. So pretty much double if you go regional. Cool website. Go and play around with that. It is an awesome tool. Let me know what you think. Yeah, that's my hot tip for this live stream, that's for sure. Where were we? Let me find these comments. Where do you store your silver? Yeah, great question. Eli, immigration to Australia will only be rising. Yes, I think so, but not for a little while. So when will that translate? I agree with you 100% long term. We need it. It fuels our GDP, but I think for the short term, there could be an impact on property just with this shortage. I mean, how long can you wait until someone buys your house that you've just built or whatever it might be? I can't see borders opening in the next 12 months to the rest of the world. Maybe just after that, but not within, I wouldn't think. Let me know what you think. A2M Milk management stuffed up. Yeah, they're completely stuffed up. Got screwed by their CEO who sold all of his shares and just put everybody into a panic. Changed not to the better. Potentially. From what I've read, he seems like a better bloke, but time will tell. Any change is good change at this point for them. Lock. Not sure what that is, Nico. Let me know. Oh, you keep it locked up. Gotcha. Not under the bed, I hope. Pat feel like the relationship between Australia and China is not going to improve quickly. Yes, but considering A2 Milk is a New Zealand-based corporation, they're listed on the Australian Stock Exchange, but at heart they're New Zealanders, and I'm not sure if there's any beef between between China and New Zealand. I don't think there is. Certainly not as much as between Australia and China. So I think that might be the key differential for them. We'll see how we go. And neither do I, that is for sure. Anyone keen to pump LKE Lake Resources this week? Yeah, it might be we'll be going to start our own little Wall Street's bets in this live stream. That would be cool. Everyone throw in a couple of $100,000 into Lake Resources, and we'll take the profits at the top. What do you reckon? No, I'm not condoning that, but yeah, essentially that's what they did. But probably I think we've got 23 people here. It might not be quite enough, but yeah, we can all dream. Eli, Lake sent graphite for testing to Novonix. They sure did. Do you think there's going to be some more action? Look, it could be a tester relationship, but they had a slide on, I think I've closed it now, but they had a slide. See if I can recover that page. Maybe I can. Tabcorp. No, I think it's long gone. Sorry. Yeah, they had a slide that focused pretty heavily on Novonix, full page in their investor presentation, and they said Novonix is a big name. It's obviously the company gets a lot of attention, lots of links drawn with Tesla. They share that lead professor with Tesla. So yeah, I think Lake needs to maintain that relationship, and the fact that Novonix is processing in the US, it's pretty close. South America, North America. So I think we should see that develop, and I think it would be a great thing for Lake, and I think they know that. So I could see that, yeah, going. Concurian, Lake, Novonix, we're talking about them, that's for sure, and Vulcan Energy, all been spoken about a lot in this live stream. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, all promising. Are their stocks at hype levels at the moment? Is it a bit overpriced? I'm not sure. They do have pretty good future outlooks, so we'll see where things go. LKE doesn't own the IP, the intellectual property for what? I thought they were a miner. Is there a technology? Is it the harvesting? I know they're backed by a Bill Gates fund. Maybe they own the IP. If you know any more, think help, please let me know. I haven't done an in-depth review. If you'd like to see that, give this video a like, and yeah, leave me a comment. It'd be a great company to do a deep dive into. So I do as well, that is for sure. Thoughts on Plug and F-Cell? I'm starting to like Airbnb. Yeah, so Plug we talked about a little bit in a previous live stream. I haven't gone into detail on FCEL. Maybe I should. And Airbnb as well could be a good one. I put up a video on my top 3 US growth stocks for Feb yesterday. Go and check that out if you haven't already. That poor old video is not doing so well. Poor thing. But yeah, certainly a couple of those could be great ones to look at maybe in March. So yeah, let me know. How are you liking the US stock videos? I certainly enjoy researching them. There's so much to learn out there. Yeah, if you'd like to see them coming, drop a comment. Nico, GME Resources. Oh yes, the punters are certainly confused. I think I even made that mistake in the live stream where someone mentioned GME. I hadn't seen Gamestop's ticker code before, and I just typed in GME ASX and up they came, and I thought, yeah, this is what everyone's talking about. It wasn't, but there you go. The Lake technology revolves around a modified ion exchange. Yeah, so that must be the IP you're talking about. And that's owned by somebody else. Who is that? Let me know. Using iron as a catalyst. Yeah. King Korean, myself, an ASX investor, believe the virtual augmented reality is going to boom. Can definitely see that. Thesis support by ARK, big ideas too. Is that one of their ETFs? I think companies like MYQ or VR1 could benefit, or others. Yeah, maybe ones to look at. Should probably note those down. Thanks for those suggestions, King Korean. Really appreciate your comments. They're always insightful. and VR1. And FCell, I think, was the other one. And Airbnb. Yep, some great ones on the list there. Thank you so much. Would love to see Lake and Vulcan merge. Yeah, could be very cool. Imagine using tech like that to see how a TV or coffee table would suit the house, or how certain clothes look on you. Yeah, I'm actually, one of my mates bought a, sort of having a bit of a quarter life crisis, and he bought a like a racing simulator. Didn't get the VR headset, got everything but that, but I think all the boys are telling him to hurry up and get the headset. And from what I've heard, racing with that thing on is incredible. Feels like you're in the car. So yeah, I can definitely see, certainly gaming, lots of upside for virtual reality. It's probably the way we'll go in this sort of simulation chasing world, that's for sure. You basically project the car from your phone to have a gaze at it before going into a dealer. Yeah, definitely interesting. Probably got way more uses that we can't even think of at the moment. So never buy a car without test driving it first. That's a very good pointer, Nico. 100%. And never buy your silver without first inspecting it. That's it. Depends on how much energy is needed for the ion exchange process Lake uses. Yeah, to offset that you're talking about. Yeah, so it's a non-mining process, uses less energy than conventional mining, but you're saying it still uses energy, and they haven't got that method to offset that energy consumption like Vulcan does. So that's a great point. Think help. Thanks for the comment. Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is. King Korean, you nailed it. DraftKings, that's the one, 100%. And they're the ones, I think if we jump over and we have a look at like DraftKings results, investor relations, see if we can find it. Earnings maybe. Why it soared today. I think this is the one we want. NASDAQ article. 11% up. ARC next gen. Okay. Here we go. 10 stocks we like better than DraftKings. It's not giving me yeah, here we go. So now what? Online sports betting is starting to gain mainstream acceptance. This relates to PointsBet that we were speaking about before. In a number of states have been legalizing it, so that's ongoing. DraftKings 64% increase in monthly unique players, or bettors, that they just call them players to try and be socially responsible, in the third quarter, which helped drive a 98% surge in revenue. I'm telling you, if PointsBet have anything like that in their February numbers, watch out. That's all. Again, no financial advice in these live streams. Please do your own research, and I'm not a financial advisor, but I think that's my hot stock of February on the ASX will be PointsBet at the end of the month. Thoughts on GLV? Haven't heard of them. Let me have a look. Global oil and gas, tiny little market cap, bit of a penny stock. No, don't know too much about those guys. Sorry, Nico. If there's something that captures your attention about them, please let me know. Where are we? Think help. Interesting news about tungsten mine in Tasmania will be added value for the EMH project with hard rock, lithium, and tungsten being extraction. Okay, cool info there. What's the EMH project? Let's have a look. EMH. Can't find it. Do you want to give me a bit more info on that? Think help. Really appreciate that one. DraftKings is looking really good. ARC is investing in it. Yeah, so I think that article had quite a bit talking about ARC being involved. Not too sure. We'll need to look into it. DraftKings have got Michael Jordan on board. Yeah, that's a big player. PointsBet have Shaq. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so it's a big draw card. Maybe Shaq's not quite Michael Jordan, but close. What do you think, King Corinne? Are you looking at jumping in on PointsBet? Let me know. Did I click the wrong link? Sounds like Martin North's DFA. No, don't be silly. King Kurian, heard about Jeff Bezos stepping down as CEO. Yeah, I did see that. Probably just had enough. He's got enough money, I think, by now. But yeah, interesting move. He's not that old, so perhaps he'll start something else. We'll see where he goes with that. Martin North has been telling people for years not to buy a house. Yeah, and Robert Kiyosaki's been telling people for years that the stock market's going to crash, and it hasn't. So no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we're in a unique set of circumstances with, that net migration really being destroyed for the past 12 months and probably for the next. It's got to have an impact, I would think, my opinion, but let me know what you think as well. East Melbourne up 29%. Yeah, incredible, isn't it? With no more migration. Not that a lot of people are migrating to East Melbourne, but yeah, there you go. And I didn't. He was right. Yeah, there you go. Why did A2 Milk CEO sell? I emailed both A2 Milk and Barb to diversify their sale to other markets. Yeah, they probably need to. Why did he sell? Probably because he knew the sales were in trouble. Let's have a look. Everybody sold from memory. People were banging on about this. Yeah, so we had Mr. Hearn sold 250,000 shares. A total consolidation of 5 mil. Yep, that's his retirement right there. 19% of the, so that's the chairman. Not even the CEO. He isn't the only seller. Yeah, chief executive must have been this guy, Jeffrey, sold 100,000 shares. And the Asia Pacific chief executive sold 800,000 at 750. He's left owning 100,000, so he sold almost all of them. Incredible. Yeah. And, this was, when was this? Well after the price had dropped, but then it dropped more, I think so. I think he just probably didn't have any belief, maybe knew he was on the chopping block, I'm not sure, but he got out quickly, not in a respectable fashion at all. Thoughts on ESPO ETF, video game and esports? So I'm not familiar with it. I'd have to have a look at their holdings. Is it an ASX? Let's have a look. VanEck. Let's just pull this up. So must be United States. NASDAQ. Okay. What's their fact sheet? Let's have a look at their top holdings. Yeah, interesting. Okay. So Nvidia, Tencent, AMD, Nintendo, Activision. That's gaming. Yeah, I think gaming, strong sector. Plenty of room for growth, especially as people were talking about with virtual reality sort of coming into the forefront. Could be a good one. We know Nvidia's had some huge growth, so yeah, interesting ETF. Any reasons why you like it in particular, let me know. Not battery related, ADO did 90% today. Let's have a look at the ADO. Antiotech. Aged care diagnostics. Oh, interesting. Decent market cap. Huge government contract. US government contract for an ASX stock. Interesting. I'll put that one on the list. That's not a company I've heard a lot about. So thanks for the comment, Eli. Really appreciate that. Do I think they have more to run? Are you talking about Antiotech? Beyond that government deal, you'd expect the market's priced that in at the moment, but without knowing any more about the company, I can't really say. I'd need to do some more research. If you'd like to see that, let me know. Yeah, love the esports area. One of the holdings is South Asian e-commerce and esport. Yeah, okay. Not familiar with them, so good pick up there. ASX Analytics, how are you, mate? Thanks for joining us. Been watching this iron ore producer, Grange Resources. PE of 3.15, consistently making profits. Let's have a look. Did you say iron ore? Yeah. Let's have a look. Smallish player. Yeah, that's nice price movement for sure. Founded quite a while ago. Let's have a look what's going on. Recovered well. Earnings per share, so they're profitable. That's good. Not covered by a major broker, which is also good. I'd need to go through and have a look at what they do, but iron ore obviously doing very well at the moment. We've got a very high iron ore price. Some more results coming out later this month, which would be interesting to look at. Dividends is a bit all over the place, but that's okay. If they're growing their stock like that, then it could be a good buy. Anything that sort of, how did you find out about Grange? Should be interesting to know. Have you bought in yourself, or are you just waiting for a bit, waiting for those February financial results? Let me know. Have you done a financial analysis? What's their sort of growth rate? I'd be interested to hear about all of those things. So yeah, drop another comment. Thanks for joining us. King Korean might consider PointsBet. Do you have money in DraftKings? Yeah, they're competitors, but you can dip into both pies, I guess. Thoughts on CGB? Yasir, thanks for joining us, mate. CGB. Can Global. Medical cannabis. Not much price data, really. Hard to know. Very, very small company, so I'm not familiar with them. We know that Crezo Pharma has had a bit of a belter. Crezo's had an awesome year, a bit stagnant now, but when I looked into Crezo, yes, they're doing some good deals, but we're not really seeing those deals equate to enough revenue to outweigh their costs just yet. If they keep going, perhaps, but we sort of really need to see President Biden change some laws, I think, for Crezo to succeed. That's what I'd be waiting to see before investing. But let me know if there's anything you like about CAN in particular, Yasir. Have you considered joining the ASX Discord that ASX Investor puts on his stream? JB, Jason, and Queenie. I haven't, to be honest. Are you a part of that? Is it worth joining? Let me know. But yeah, no, I haven't really given much thought to that. Yasir, thoughts on C? I've just answered that one. Thanks, mate. Eli, ADO supply the ASSAY for home COVID testing. Yeah, I think maybe it was you who mentioned this the other couple of live streams. Oh, that's right. That testing. Was that the one? Yeah. I'll put them on the list. It's an interesting pick, Eli. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I might feature that in an upcoming live stream, perhaps, maybe on Sunday. I'm thinking of doing Sunday on Sunday nights, maybe like Sunday 8 p.m. We didn't get a whole bunch of people last Sunday morning, and I know Sunday morning's a bit of an awkward time slot, so please let me know if Sunday night is a better time for you, because it's a good time for me, so let me know. BC, are you still keen on Goodman? Yes. Yes, I am. How have they been going? I mean, they've got that long-running deal with Amazon, and that's the reason I bought Goodman. You can see their growth has been just very consistent, and that's, as far as I know, that hasn't changed. 235% return year on year. Maybe that's not year on year, but they've certainly been doing very well, and they're now the key developer for Amazon in Australia, and that was the main reason I bought them. So yes, I'm definitely bullish on Goodman Group. Hey, what's your thoughts on Emerge Gaming? Thanks for joining us, Django. Emerge Gaming had some issues. A lot of people sort of pointing out or calling it a pyramid scheme. And since I made that video on them, yeah, there was some bad press. A lot of people were commenting pyramid scheme and this and that. And what we saw when they released their key product, they had a huge amount of subscribers to the platform, but they were getting people to sort of pre-subscribe or pre-sign up, and they were getting rewards for making other people subscribe, and it built this huge amount of people that they said were potential customers, but it was really just because they were getting rewards to subscribe. So the actual number of subscribers at the end of the day was such a small fraction of their advertised amount, and a lot of people were like, is that really ethical what you're doing? So I sort of lost interest at that point. You can see it's sort of bouncing around, but Mixter now has 100,000 playing, had 50,000 in December, so it is growing. I did lose a little bit of interest, but maybe I should reconsider. What do you think? Have you invested Django? I'd love to know what you think, but yeah. BC, yes to Sunday night. If anyone else would like to see that Sunday night time slot feature, I think that's going to be best for me, 8 p.m. Sunday for the next stream. Pat, you're off. Good night, mate. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate your comments as always. Did Man United put 7 past? Maybe. Don't follow soccer on this channel too much, but that is a monster score if that did happen. ASX Analytics. Grange, watching it for a while, then fell off my radar. Suddenly noticed a small breakout. Used to trade within 24 to 30. Haven't looked into fundamentals. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Maybe one to stick on the watch list, but yeah, thanks for the comment. Look, guys, I think maybe that will do for tonight. Thanks so much, everyone, for jumping on. I think we've got 25 people online, which is awesome. Might even be a new record, but I really appreciate everyone jumping on and joining me. As I said, next live stream, Sunday night, be there or be square. Please go and check out the video I posted yesterday on my top 3 US growth stocks. And don't forget to give this live stream a like. I'd really appreciate it. So thanks, everyone. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the week. Really appreciate you jumping on here. Cheers, Lindo. Thanks very much for joining and leaving some great comments as always. But yeah, good night, everyone. Have a great week, and I'll see you on Sunday. Thanks, BC. Thanks, ASX Analytics. Cheers, mate. And you too. Really like your videos. If you haven't already, guys, go and check out ASX Analytics channel. He's got some really good videos over there. Joe Blogs, thanks, mate, for tuning in. Make sure to drop a comment next time, mate. Django, Sunday night works well. Thank you for confirming. I'll see you then. Think help. Good night, mate. Cheers. Okay, everyone. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.